Hi, and welcome to our very first podcast of IHellene. I've got the very distinct gentlemen that are going to be formulating this podcast and sort of vlog as it may be. It's our very first one. It's going to be fun and games, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it in future. This is, of course, just setting the tone in terms of what it's about, why are we creating this, what are we trying to achieve. And I think I'm going to start off by just saying one simple thing. We're trying to bring on the Greek community in South Africa for now, as it may be. We're coming to you live, or not so live. It'll be recorded from Magos Media in Johannesburg. But in future, we're hoping that it's going to become international. We'll go into Africa. We'll be looking at other people around the world. But I think, Chris, it was your big idea. So I think you need to just take us through what the idea was behind creating IHellenes.
Oh, look, I think it was a small idea that's becoming a big idea. And mainly, if we take the I, we kind of worked around it and we said that I would be an ideas incubator. We want to network, bring the community into the 21st, or we're in the 21st, 22nd century here. We want to take it out of the mundane and start getting people to network, interact, talk to each other, share ideas, and make it interesting. So ideas, incubator, interesting, intelligent discussion, and how best to do that, but to get into new wave media, podcasts, get it out free, easy, cheap, but with value. So that was where it originated.
Cool. So ultimately, Harry, who we're going to be inviting to come and chat?
I think, first of all, Hellenes and Philhellenes, people that are close to the community, whether they're involved in the community formally or not, but people who love being part of the community, and I think people that are passionate. I think it's about people sharing their passion and their story. I think it's about people sharing what they love at that moment or throughout their lives, what they've dedicated their lives. And I think I might well be about ideals, might well be about inspiration, what inspires them at the moment, and how they would want to inspire others through their stories. And I think it's about sharing all of that. And I think it's about a journey, and this is the start of a journey, and see where this journey takes us all. I know that I've been involved with Greek communities, both in South Africa and internationally, and I think there's a lot of inspirational people out there that can share their stories with us, and I think that's what this platform's about.
Cool. And then we obviously got the broadcaster amongst us, a man who understands how broadcasting works, lots of fame. And I haven't actually sort of introduced what everybody does, but I think they'll do that well on their own. But because Dimitri and I have worked quite closely together, I mean, he's launched a whole lot of local broadcasters, helped them get licensed. I won't mention names,
all of them.
But pretty much helped most of the broadcasters in this country get their licenses and go through the licensing processes. So what's your idea on kind of IHellenes and why you got involved, pretty much?
I think the way people are consuming media today, they want it when they want it, on which platform they want it. So essentially what we're doing here is we're creating content for people on the move, whether they're listening at home, whether they're listening on their mobile device. So the idea is that you create content for particular audiences.
Okay, so it's quite niche. I mean, there's a couple of things that came out of our discussions, and I mean, we've got the lawyer amongst us. We've got Harry, who he's been an entrepreneur. He's done all kinds of things. He's very involved in one of the foundations. So I think we're very diverse in terms of our involvement, and fundamentally what we wanted to do was create a place where there's those hidden gem Greeks to a large extent that none of us have heard of. And I think that's one of the things we were talking about, is we want to find Greeks that are doing things that none of us had any idea. I mean, one that springs to mind that's massive globally is Diamandis, who started up SpaceX with Elon Musk. He was so involved. I mean, it's quite crazy that he's a Greek in America that's done some phenomenal things. And there's so many Greeks here, Economides, who's doing all the marketing stuff. There's so many of us that have done amazing things that have hit the world stage. And I think, what's your take on it? I think that, how are we going to find them? That's the other question.
Yeah, look, I think what Harry says is important, is that there's passion. So if somebody wants to host a monthly podcast where he invites different people from that community or that type of industry, and have a debate on a topical subject, or discuss what their new venture is, discuss what they're looking to hire people, or they're looking for investors, or they're just want to share what they've learned, so that somebody else in the industry, somebody coming up through the ranks, will gain something from their insight, or will discover an idea that will like spark something and get them together, get them around the table and be entertaining. Most important. I mean, I think that these things have got to be like a little bit fluid, a little bit fun, and a little bit interesting, as Valerie said. I think those are the keys. So come along, have your show, host it if you want to, or be a panel member, or just come along and talk about what you've done on your own. It's as simple as that. So I think this is the key.
So digital breaking of plates, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the digital. It's bringing the community together digitally. I mean, we already there's so many communities on Facebook, and whether it's Greek music or whether it's their local community that they're sharing their events with. But it's about the digital space to create interesting content, to create inspiring content, to share ideas, to create thick connections where people can actually network and listen to one another's stories and learn and be entertained at the same time. I mean, we are doing interesting things. We are doing great things as individuals in the community. And it's about people, it's about user-generated content. It's about people bringing their connections, bringing their knowledge to the fore. And whether it's, I know someone, or I heard of someone, or guys, I heard of Economides, who knows Economides? Can we bring him onto this podcast?
Yeah,
these days
we can.
Skype,
yeah, we don't have to be based in South Africa. You can call in. You're hosting a show. Have one person there, but you can call somebody on a Skype call. Call them overseas. Tell them what have they been doing. How do they think their program, their business can help South African Greeks or Philhellenes? And that's the key as well. I think most important is that this is about Philhellenes. It's not. You don't have to speak Greek to be part of this. Let's put it as simple as that. You want to tap into this community, come along and tell them what you're doing. You want to share what you're doing with them, come along and talk to them. Or that person wants to share what they're doing because they love the culture, they love the people, they love the country, and South Africans. Cool. Purely across the board. This is also about South Africans wanting to appeal to our network, our wealth, our expertise. Bring them along. Let them have a platform to talk.
And I think what's universal about Hellenism is the ideal of Hellenism is about the development of the human spirit. And ultimately, that's what we're all after. It's about how do we develop as individuals, how do we develop that spirit, how do we develop the ideals and the values of Hellenism. And we're talking to that. And this journey is about discovering that and discovering how this particular manifestation of that will develop over time.
Yeah, I think we kind of started with an idea. We're not sure what this platform is going to evolve to, but it is fundamentally a platform. It's a platform for us to try and highlight some interesting people. We obviously are looking to get some Hellenes involved as much as possible, Philhellenes. So I think it could be quite interesting. Anyway, we're going to tackle this. We're going to try it out. We've got our own home. We're going to have a website. It'll be IHellenes.com and .co.za for now, and .org. We're going to try a few things out. We'll see how it pans out. We're going to interview a few people. Just a quick one across the four of us, the three of us. Who do we know that would be worth bringing on board? I mean, we're going to put this digitally, maybe, but who do we know actually that we can bring on here?
Some good ideas. Well, I was actually going to mention the Amandis, the guy. So you look at some of the global Greeks.
Yes.
But there are also people who are in the field of artificial intelligence, leading young researchers that have left Greece, that are working at American universities and so on, that are really leading their field. So I think we should be looking to try and network some of those people in. One, to say, look at what Greece has gifted to the world. It's not just your ancient Greeks, your philosophy, your democracy, but actually they're people currently in really, really influential and top positions. So I think those are the kind of people we'd be looking at.
Yeah.
And from a local perspective?
Yeah, locally, that's the other thing. We've got chaps and ladies and men at all levels, from base roots, doing social work, doing charity work, to doing work in high-level multinational companies, NASPAS, the CFO of NASPAS. We've got guys and women all over the spectrum of the industry and the social aspects in South Africa. Yes, we know about them, we may have read them, they may be our neighbors, we may have grown up with them, but there's a lot of people that haven't and don't have that insight into what did they do, what was it like to get there, how difficult was it to break into that job. And those are the kind of people I think that we need to do it. Pavlo Fitidis will feed into his network on his entrepreneurial business. That kind of those are the
Dean
people.
of Lagos, who launched Sol Souvlaki as
All our food
so
franchising.
everywhere from the retail side of things to your professionals, your
Natasha
to bankers.
Sederas, bankers, economists.
Absolutely.
We got them all. They've got interesting stories to tell, number one, and they're opening up their network to our local.
I haven't heard you commit to one person. You're going to bring in Chris, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Think about it. I'll come back to you.
I think for me, what would be interesting and probably because I come from a community background,
Yeah.
and that's been my experience, is how do we link great ideas like I know in the States that Hellenic Leadership Council, etc., are doing things like mentoring young Greeks, creating those networks. I know in Canada they're doing some interesting things. So maybe learning some of those lessons and bringing those people on board, and trying to because I think that the one time where I feel very much at home is when I'm with other Greeks from abroad, whether they're from Mexico or Australia or Russia or
America
or Germany.
America
We all have that sense that we are Greeks of the diaspora.
Yeah.
And I think it's about also trying to connect that and trying to get those lessons out. And the world is becoming smaller because of digital, because of the way things are going. And we can share those stories a lot easier than we used to.
Okay, cool. So any parting
that's
shots?
a
I think we've
wrap,
wrapped it up.
I think we must invite
Kalo
everyone.
taxi de pedia.
Yes.
Join us on that journey.
Absolutely.
That's it. The invitation is open. This must be an open invitation
Yeah.
to everybody. Yeah.
So there we go. So from Harry, Chris,
Dimitri.
Dimitri. But I
Our
was
host,
trying to think of my own name, Petro. We're going to see you around. Come visit. You'll get in touch with us. We'll populate where you'll get in touch with us. It'll probably be IHellene@gmail.com is probably the quickest way to get hold of us. If you don't have our telephone numbers, ask around. I promise you'll find them. And we'll get in touch and we'll be chatting. So here's the first podcast under our belt.
That's
Or
Yes,
vlog,
that's-
as it may be.
Thank you to Pedro for hosting and providing the technical
Yeah,
support.
we're excited about it. We're really
Absolutely.
excited.